Hey everybody, welcome to Ramsey's Rockin' Roads, episode 9, chip seal. Now I've mentioned chip seal in prior episodes before. Chip seals are why Ramsey Asphalt's still in business today. Chip seals are a big part of a lot of communities, a lot of industries, a lot of areas of the United States. Now sometimes you go down to the metropolis of Los Angeles and they've never heard of chip seal, which is kind of surprising because I live in an area that's all you hear about is chip seal. So I'd like to say thank you, Santa Ynez, California, Rancho De Abejas, for the opportunity to come and film here today. And let's jump right in, chip seal. So what is chip seal? Well, chip seal is, in its very most primitive description and its most very primitive form that I can give you guys, chip seal is a layer of oil. Now, when I am out there talking with customers, the way I present it to them is I say, hey, we lay down a layer of black Elmer's glue. They don't need to know that it's emulsified asphalt with polymers and da-da-da-da-da. So in its most simplest form, chip seal is a layer of black Elmer's glue with a layer of crushed aggregate, roller compacted. That's it. It's very simple. And it acts as a wear course. The counties, the cities, the states use chip seal in a maintenance type setting. So let's talk about that for a second. So chip seal in a maintenance type setting. So how does that work? Well, let's say you have a roadway, and I don't really recommend it on parking lots because of the turning, the twisting. It tends to peel the aggregate. I try to tell my sales guys, stay away from chip seal in parking lots. Chip seal is really a roadway type application. And because you do have the raw aggregate it's like a tooth in your face. It's stuck in your gums, it's stuck in this black Elmer's glue, and it's sticking up in the air and twisting and turning and grinding. It tends to either shear the rock, where it just literally just snaps the rock in half of it comes out, the other half is stuck in the oil, or it can literally just peel the whole rock, the whole piece of aggregate, the whole tooth right out of the oil. So stay away from parking lots. We have done it in parking lots. It has to be a very special circumstance. So where would we use? Where would we use chip seal? Chip seals are used on roadways, ranches, driveways, motor courts, decorative, all the above. Commercial parking lots, church parking lots, I'd probably stay away. Now there's probably guys in other parts of the country where it works out okay. Here in California, I haven't really found a whole lot of success in parking lots. So any of you guys out there in other parts of the country, other parts of the world that are doing chip seals and you've had success with parking lots, let me know. I'd like to hear your comments and let me know. I'm here to learn just as much as you guys are here to learn. So let's talk more about chip seal. The application of chip seal, I already went through black Elmer's glue, crushed aggregate. Now there's different sizes of aggregate. I don't need to go into explanation on the glue, black Elmer's glue. Doesn't matter if it's polymer modified, non-polymer modified, PMRE, has rejuvenating agent in it, doesn't matter. Black Elmer's glue is black Elmer's glue. Now the aggregate is what's important, and the aggregate is actually the key to a successful chip seal. Most people can figure out how to make a black Elmer's glue. Here in California, we're using emulsions, CRS, PMCRS. Those are pretty much the standard oils we're using for chip seal. Now, the aggregate is really the key to it. Now, 90% of the chip seals that I do on a yearly basis, we use a 3/8 aggregate. 1/4x10 aggregate tends to track a lot and it spreads out all over the place, but it gives a really fine finish. And it's low to the ground, but it's not as structurally as strong as a 3/8 rock. Now we get into like a 1/2 inch aggregate. A 1/2 inch aggregate tends to get stuck in the tire treads. It's really aggressive. It's hard to walk on. You feel it through your shoes. So right in the middle ground aggregate that I like to use is a 3/8 aggregate, and it provides the most wearable surface to where you can go in and you can sell a chip seal, and you can tell them you're going to get 7 to 10 years out of this chip seal over existing asphalt. Great. Now, typically, commercial ranches, the most utilitarian type of chip seal that any of us contractors can offer is Elmer's glue, chip seal, post sweep, which just means after we're done with the chip seal and after we roll it, and I'm hoping Funny Boy Shane over here put some pictures of chip seal being rolled. After it gets rolled, it gets swept. And then what I like to do, which is some people don't like it because it leaves a black surface, is we fog seal it. Now when we fog seal it, we post sweep, we put a thin layer, a very light layer of fog seal over the top of it. And what happens here is we're gluing the rock in from the bottom and with the Elmer's glue, and we're sealing it off with this fog seal on top, and it creates a really, really nice wearable surface. You don't have rock everywhere, you have a black road, and it's very, very similar to just a paved roadway. It drives smooth, it drives nice, and at the end of the day, we have a really, really good surface. Now, that's with existing asphalt. Well, let's go to the next level. What if somebody has a limited budget and they can't afford asphalt and they want an alternative surface? Here we come with chip seal. Now, with chip seal, the way you prepare the surface, the way you prepare the grounds, you would do exactly the same thing as you would do with asphalt. You put in your road base. I like to put in a little bit thicker. If the soils engineer recommends 4 inches of asphalt, 4 inches of base underneath asphalt, I go 6 inches of base underneath chip seal. Chip seal has no structure to it, or very, very little structure. It's not like asphalt, it's not like concrete, but it's a very non-permeable, all-weather surface. So in that instance, what we do is put in our road base, compact it, 95, 96, 97, 98% moisture content, really high. The reason why on a chip seal I like the moisture content really high is when that black Elmer's glue goes on the surface, that water, as it evaporates, it sucks the oil into the ground, and you have a shell of a coating that is impenetrable. It really is good. So if we're chip sealing over road base, if it's a new construction over road base, which is very, very popular here in California, it's very popular in the rural communities like here, Santa Ynez, California, Ventura, Santa Paula, Ojai, Paso Robles, all of these areas, it's very, very popular. What we do is we do a double chip seal. And just in the layman's terms, in the most simplest form, we're just doing 2 layers of chip seal. We do Elmer's glue, rock, sweep it, more Elmer's glue, black Elmer's glue, more rock, sweep it, and more than 99 times out of 100, we'll do a fog seal on top of that. That's it. It's very simple, very wearable, and a good analogy that I give people is asphalt, you're gonna get 30 years, chip seal, you're gonna get 10 years. Asphalt is 100,000, chip seal is 30,000. It's a third of the life and a third of the cost. So that's why somebody might choose chip seal over asphalt. Now, another reason why somebody might choose chip seal over asphalt would be the aesthetics. Well, Scott, what do you mean the aesthetics? Well, there's lots of different colors of chip rock. We have gold, Montecito blend that we've coined through Ramsey Asphalt, which everybody's using Montecito blend. Well, we're the ones that came up with Montecito blend. So we have gray, gold, Montecito blend, Navajo, coastal blue, Rocky Canyon gold, with lots of different. So we get all of these different color rocks from all over California. And I'm sure if we wanted to, we could probably go out of California and get even another variety of rock, maybe red rock, orange rock, I don't know. But I'm just talking about California because that's really all I know. And so somebody might want a chip seal because they say, Scott, I absolutely do not want any kind of black asphalt on my property. I hate it. Well, what about concrete? What about stamped concrete? What about pavers? Yeah, those are all good options. And then I come in and say, yeah, but what about chip seal? I don't know anything about chip seal. Well, here, I have all these different colors, It's a Mediterranean. That's how, and that's what I tell people. My customers that I serve, I tell people it is a old world Mediterranean gravel surface. And that really gets people excited. It really does. And we have put down more chip seal on the Central Coast than I really know. I mean, we're putting down thousands of tons a year of chip seal here on the coast, just simply because we're giving an alternative to black asphalt. We're giving an alternative to spending $20 a square foot on pavers. We're giving an alternative to what the conventional people know that they have that's out there to offer. So we have black utilitarian chip seal, color chip seal, and it's a really, really good surface, and it wears good. And like I said, the numbers that I gave all of you early on, asphalt chip seal is a third of the price, but you're going to get a third of the life out of it, plain and simple. Shane, any questions on chip seal that people have asked that you can think of that we might be able to answer here? I've kind of given the groundwork to chip seal. Anything you can think of?
I think you've covered a wide gamut.
Yeah, I have. I will say this: chip seal. The equestrian people love chip seal. I have the equestrian people that we serve in Paso Robles, Ojai, Ventura, Santa Ynez Valley. The equestrian people love chip seal more than they love asphalt because it is a seriously non-skid surface. I'm just trying to think of what other benefits. What's that? Steep drive. Well, that always is a concern. So we can do chip seals on steep driveways, but there's only one method of doing chip seal on a steep driveway, and that would be going back to Elmer's glue, aggregate, fog seal. You cannot have any loose gravel on a steep driveway because what happens is the tires spin, and just imagine yourself driving down the road and you hit a pile of dirt, you stop on that dirt, you go to take off again, your tires spin. Well, the same exact thing is going to happen on a chip seal driveway. Now, and when your tires spin on a chip seal driveway, it tends to break the rock down, it crushes it, turns it into dust, and that's not a good thing because that rock is really what is the structure of the chip seal. Now, one thing I do suggest to people when I look at a driveway that is a tattered, worn asphalt driveway, and I give them an alternative for chip seal or a double chip seal with a fog coat, what I suggest to people is at that point, we maintain it like asphalt. So every 3, 4, 5 years, I come out and I seal coat it and I keep the rock locked in place. I have chip seals right now that we maintain, and we maintain them like it's asphalt. And every 3, 4, 5 years, we go out and we seal coat them, and we seal coat them, and we seal coat them. And the rock retention is really, really high, 80, 90%. Throughout those years, they're not losing a lot of aggregate, so they're not losing any thickness. And it's the same concept, guys, with asphalt. As asphalt wears, if you don't maintain the asphalt, the aggregate discharges and the asphalt gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner, and then you lose your structure. Same thing with chip seal. The whole key to chip seal is the aggregate and the structure. So let's talk a little bit more about the technical part of chip seal. So I get calls all the time, or I actually meet customers all the time where they'll have, they've already done their research. They've already been down to not the rock quarry, but they've already been down to, let's say they've already been down to their landscape yard. And they'll have a pile of rock sitting there waiting for me. Scott, we heard you do chip seal. We're excited because we found the perfect rock, and I'll look at it and it's river rock. Yeah, it might be a 3/8 because they've heard they want to use 3/8, which is correct, but it's a round river rock. You can't use it. And what happens is it's like marble. Literally, it's like not only is it like marbles just rolling around, but those little spiked teeth don't actually stick into the Elmer's glue. And it's not going to be successful. They'll get a couple years out of a chip seal, but it's not going to be successful. So on a technical standpoint, we got to make sure we're using a crushed aggregate. And here in California, I've had a lot of good luck with, and I've had a lot of good success with calling the different quarries. And what I asked for is I just asked for a 3/8 hot plant rock. Now, sometimes the hot plants are using limestone aggregate. Those don't work really good. So it's just as simple as calling your suppliers, asking them for a 3/8 hot plant rock, which hot plant rocks, if they're using a type A rock, it's going to be crushed on all sides. That's the kind of rock you need. Now, we go to the next step when we're picking an aggregate. The next step, picking an aggregate, cleanliness. The rock has to be super duper duper clean. If the rock isn't clean and it has dust particles on it, it's going to stick to it will not stick to the Elmer's glue. And what'll happen is everything you'll have your oil truck spraying down, and I'm hoping Shane's got some pictures on the oil truck. Oil truck spraying the Elmer's glue down, the emulsion down, and then the aggregate goes right on top of that, and I hope we get some pictures of that. I don't know if we will, but hopefully we get some pictures of that. And that aggregate, and then the rollers go on top of that, rolling it all in. At this point, you think, wow, we got the most beautiful job. It's perfect. It's glorious. We did it. Save the day. You go back, you let it sit overnight. The crews show up the next day, start sweeping to get it ready for the bonded coat, the fog coat on top. Lo and behold, as they start sweeping, all the aggregate goes along with it, and all you're left with is an oil slick. We've all had it happen. Those of you guys out there, those of you guys that have been doing chip seal as long as I have or longer than I have, you've all ran into it. One of the big problems we have is with new asphalt. Chip oil really doesn't like to stick to new asphalt. Why? I don't know. I am no scientist. Remember, I barely graduated from high school. I don't know these things. Why does it not stick to new asphalt? I know there's a technical reason. I don't know why. I don't know what that technical reason is, and I really don't why. I really don't care. I just know that us contractors have a really hard time with getting chip seal to stick to new asphalt. So there's things that we do. We can prime it, we can tack it, we can put a fog seal on it, and that does help a lot. And actually, what I do with my jobs and all the people that we spray oil for, all of my contractor friends that we spray chip oil for, I just say, hey, if we're going over new asphalt the day before, flood it out with pure SS1H. That's all we have to do. Flood it with pure SS1H, let it dry overnight. We come in the next morning, chip seal it, it'll be 100% successful. Why that happens, I don't know. Is there, through the paving process, is there a layer of diesel on there? There's some kind of a layer of something on there that doesn't allow the Elmer's glue and the rock to adhere properly. I don't know why. It is what it is. So I went through, I talked about the oil, the emulsion that we use. Now, not all suppliers are the same. Now, when I made the brash comment, and I love you, David Diaz out there, no, I know not all emulsions are the same. Standard Emulsions is our emulsion supplier, and David's he's gonna fillet me at the end of this one. But not all emulsions are the same. For the sake of this episode, I want to just make it. We've got our Elmer's glue. Check with your suppliers. Not everybody's the same. There are different qualities, as there are in every industry. There's different qualities of asphalt. You go to one asphalt supplier, you might get some rocky trash. You go to another asphalt supplier, and it's very harmonious with the aggregate and the sand and everything in it. And you just have different qualities in every line of work. You buy a car, you're going to get a different quality. You want to buy a Hyundai or you want to buy a Lamborghini, different quality. Same thing in the asphalt world, different qualities. So we talked about Elmer's glue, we talked about the emulsion, we talked about the aggregate, crushed aggregate, cleanliness of the aggregate, rolling the aggregate, decorative aggregate, fog sealing the aggregate, all kinds of different, and I'm sure during this episode, Shane's going to be popping up different color rocks, different types rock, different finished jobs that we've done. I really like chip seal, and for you contractors that are out there, chip seal The reason I like it as well, it's very easy to do. And out of all the services that we do, concrete, striping, chip seal, seal coating, paving, grading, out of all the services that we provide, I get fewer callbacks on chip seal than any of the other services. Why? It's just a very simple process. You have the oil and the aggregate and that's it. How hard is it to screw that up? Now, I'll have my guys go out and stripe a parking lot and there might be a jaggedy line that the customer says, hey, maybe they could have got that line a little straighter. Yeah, that's true. We'll fix it tomorrow. Remember I said in episode 6 or 7, embrace the callbacks. Yeah, you could have got, or you seal coat a parking lot, cars go in there, twist the power steering, scuff up the parking lot, you're getting called back. You got to send a guy out with a bucket of seal, touch up scuff marks. Paving, drainage, rock pockets, seams, elevations, very technical. Chip seal, I have to say, I really enjoy doing chip seal. It is very transformative. I'm going to end this episode with one other thing that a lot of people don't know. Chip seal oil, the Elmer's glue, doesn't know what surface it's being bonded to. We have chip sealed over Satillo tile and the aggregate sticks just fine. We have chip sealed over concrete. The chip seal has worked out fine. I have a good customer in Santa Barbara. They were doing they bought a 2-house property, doing a flip, and the concrete was heaving due to tree roots. It was heaving as much as 6 inches. Called me out there trying to figure out what they could do. This was a flip. They didn't want to live in the house, but they had to provide a driveway that was totally usable, safe, because they didn't know who their end customer was going to be. They didn't know who was going to end up buying this property. So I went out there, I looked at it, and I said, hey guys, instead of demoing this whole thing out, because they were, as I said in the last episode, we're the last guys in. The landscapers and the asphalt guys or the concrete guys, we're the guys that are left with begging for the last chunk of money, because we're at the end of the project and the guys and the customers we're serving, they're out of money at this point. So they need a quick, cheap, easy alternative, as these customers did and these flippers did in Santa Barbara. So I went out there and I said, hey guys, I have an idea. You got to bear with me here because this is going to be way outside the box. I said, what if I came in here and I leveled out all these areas? I leveled out the concrete. Now this is a residential driveway, long residential driveway. I said, what if I came in here with asphalt? I leveled out all of these uneven areas, leveled them out with asphalt. And they said, wow, well, we have concrete here. And I said, yeah, but my asphalt doesn't know what I'm sticking to. So I'll come in here, I'll level it out with asphalt, and then we're gonna do a double chip seal, because I don't wanna provide something to the next buyer that's super inferior. We'll do a double chip seal just as preventative maintenance, just as a really inexpensive insurance policy, because a double chip seal can withstand a lot. So I said, we'll come in here, we'll level everything out with asphalt, we'll do a double chip seal, and on top of it, we're gonna do, because they did it white Spanish, smooth stucco, very typical Santa Barbara Spanish, and we're gonna do Montecito blend, which is a blend of gray and gold. And they said, wow, you can do that? And I said, yep, we certainly can. We did the job. It exceeded every expectation that they had. And I've been working for these guys and they continue to do flips all the time, and I continue to work for them to this day. So anyway, questions, comments. I've been talking for about 27 minutes. I think we covered a lot of stuff about chip seal. About 15 minutes in, I thought, oh my God, how am I gonna get through the rest of this? But I think we pulled it off. And anyway, questions, comments about chip seal, need suppliers, need anybody out there that, any recommendations on getting oil truck distribution. If you don't have your own oil trucks, we can help you out with that. Just give me a call or shoot me a comment. We'll help you out any way we can. Ramsey's Rockin' Roads. Peace out.